On this channel, I do a series of videos called Character Assassination, which is all about death in comics. And I started to think, what is the best death in comics history? What death scene or issue of a character's death was the most impactful, the most meaningful, the most well presented? And ultimately, I think my choice comes down to the death of Captain Marvel in the absolutely brilliant graphic novel written and drawn by Jim Starlin back in 1982. Um, I don't know. I would need to even think hard about number two, but to me, it's definitely my number one. And I started to think in pop culture in general, movies, television, or whatnot. What is the best death scene or the best character death depicted? And again, my number one was an absolute no brainer. Am I wrong to say that Spock in The Wrath of Khan, Star Trek II, has to be the best death scene ever in a film? I think it's my clear number one. If him sacrificing himself to save the Enterprise wasn't enough, to Kirk's realization of his best friend's death, or if it wasn't the funeral scene, if it wasn't that, maybe it was the scene of Captain Kirk reuniting with his son and acknowledging him as his real son. And if it wasn't that, maybe it would be the final scene on the bridge where he says, "I feel young, I feel young." I've watched that movie who knows how many times. And that scene gets me, or those scenes get me every time, even knowing that he came back to life in the next film. That's a brilliant death scene. If you know the character's not really dead and it still feels like a punch in the gut. Tell me what you think. What's the greatest death scene in comics? What's the greatest death scene in pop culture in general?